It is really hot outside now. um, yeah. Spending my days doing more yelling and emailing. Anyway, it's hot. Speaking of hot, portrait of a lady on fire, which could describe me in college. Not that I found myself hot, but I was exploding in flames from just the pressure of art school. Because art school's really hard, and there's a piece of paper in my pocket. Can this paper go in the thing? Alright. So, Portrait of a Lady on Fucking Fire is what they really should have called it. It's a French film. It's like one of those French art... I don't want to say artsy films, because it's like French artsy films are just like, I'm having a cigarette, it's in black and white. Look, there's a baby, I kicked it into the river. You know, like that kind of shit. You're like, alright, French people, you know? So, this is about like, what year? I'm like looking at this, like, what year is it? Like, it's back in the day, you know? It's before any, like, it's back when only white people had rights, you know, that kind of shit. Or ladies, depending on your status, you might have some rights, but you don't, you know? So, anyway, this portraiture lady, painter lady, it's a bunch of ladies. It gets very, very lesbianic. I don't think that's a word, but it gets there. So yeah, the lady who does portraits, who paints and all that shit. Like, the story kind of bounces back and forth between, like, current day her, not bounces, but, like, you know, you show current her, then it kind of goes, like, you know, at least it doesn't do, like, a title card, like, 3 months ago, or some shit like that. Anyway, there's a lady who's, I was about to say in office. Oh man, it's like 80-something degrees, it feels like 90-something, so already my brain is like, why bother? And then I have lights on my face right now to record this. So anywho, anyway, so the portrait lady is commissioned to paint the main lady, a lot of ladies here, her portrait, but the main lady, like, doesn't want to, and she doesn't want to sit still, so the portraiture person, I'm gonna stop saying lady because you're gonna get confused, the portraiture person has to kind of, like, examine her. So, like, they'll go out, they'll, like, hang out, and also the lady doesn't know she's a portraiture, just thinks, like, she's, like, her new friend, you know, so she'll go out and she'll just, like, stare at her, you know, her face, you know, and then sometimes, like, when she's, like, over there, she'll just sketch out, you know, that kind of stuff, so that she could do the portrait. And whoever they hired to do the actual painting and stuff and drawing, it's good shit, you know? I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember I did stuff like that in college, and now I'm just like, I could probably do it. I don't know about drawing. Drawing is definitely something I don't know what the fuck is about. But yeah, it's obviously, it's good shit. You don't want to be like, we hired you portraiture lady, and then the person they hire for the film to do paintings just, it's like, it's like stick figures. Oh my god, water everywhere, Jesus. Jam it up your pee hole. Wait, is it focused on my face? Anyway. So, anywho. So, after some time, like, so it's a lot of that, and then the portraiture lady she's like really frustrated with it and all that stuff, and all that. Just really, she gets frustrated. Then she kind of pretty much breaks her silence to the main lady and kind of like, hey, you know what? I was actually not hired to be your friend. I was hired to paint your portrait, and I knew you didn't want to sit for it and all that stuff. And then the lady was like, oh, okay. Well, I had a feeling things were odd because I noticed the way you looked at me, you know, all that stuff. And it was like, okay. And then, like, they because I guess, like, honesty came out, and so they ended up kind of, like, getting along better. And mind you, like, the lady's mother goes away, so the castle place is really just her, portraiture lady, and then little girl maid. Not little girl, she's probably, I don't know, like, in her teens or something. But still. So it's them. But then the two ladies, you know, things get... oh, hello there. Yeah, that happens. Getting gay with kids is here, you know. So that happens. So, like, pretty much that's the movie. It's that, you know, like, she ends up painting the portrait, all that stuff. It's, how long is this movie? The movie is like 2 hours long. It actually doesn't feel like 2 hours because it's beautifully shot. The costumes are amazing. The artwork is good. There's a couple parts that got me kind of like, which one is the maid girl. So there's one scene where like the portraiture lady is just like, she just like wakes up, she's just like, and then you see the maid girl like just wrap up a bunch of beans in a towel, and it's like, oh, cramps, okay, I got it. And then the maid girl is like, she's like, oh yeah, I haven't had my monthlies, in a while. And the portraiture lady's like, what, bitch, what? How long? And she's like, I don't know, like 3 months. Like, just like, oh, 3 months. It's been good not having my period. And I'm watching it like, I hope by then they knew, like, it's about 3 months. You got something. You got something, And so then these ladies try to help her induce an abortion miscarriage shit. That part, I always find that so funny. It's because, like, the work I do, like, the fetus shit that I make, so I just find it funny where I'm like, hey, see, it's not just me, guys. It's not just me who makes a guys, hello? Huh? And so, like, at first they brew her something. That's always, like, the case with these things. They're, like, just like, I don't know, drink this tea, But then, like, she's, like, hanging on the ceiling. Like, did they think it just drops out of you, Like, I don't know. But you just see her, like, legs just dangle at one point, and they just, like, and then, like, then she falls, I guess probably from holding herself up and getting weak. They fall, like, she falls. They pick her up, and they're like, it's probably done. Like, that's like, it's like the old school equivalent of, like, push you down the stairs kind of horrible thing. Like, oh my god. Like, oh my god. So terrible. Oh man. So then, like, there's one night, it gets kind of like, it feels a bit like the movie The Witch, because then it's like a bunch of women around a bonfire kind of stuff and all that shit. Although they don't get nude and start floating about and all that stuff, but they're just a bunch of ladies, like, hello. And then they meet up with a woman, another lady, lots of ladies happening here, and saying, like, pretty much being like, so, I, like, they're like, this girl's got a bun in the oven. I think we took care of it, but can you make sure? And the lady's just like, I don't know. She pretty much was like, nah, you still got something in there. And they're like, well, meet me tomorrow or something in this cave. And we'll take care of it. And I'm like, what? So they go, and also, like, while they're, like, heading to, have this girl get her abortion, Jesus, the two ladies, finally kiss. Mwah, 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 lesbian kiss. Yes, that's how lesbians kiss. That happens, and I'm like, okay, you knew that was gonna happen. Like, God, you like, even from the beginning, you saw the sexual tension, like, like, cut that shit with a knife kind of shit. Anyway, so they go into, like, the cave, and then, like, the girl, she's just laying there, legs up and all that stuff, and then, like, you just see, like, the woman, just, like, her hand, like, you just, obviously, it's, like, a dress, just cover, but you just see her hand just go in, and then the girl is like, ah! Ah! And so you're thinking she's just digging inside and pulling things out. Oh, I can't imagine that pain. And as someone who deals with quite a lot of pain all the time, especially in that region, I bet it's even worse than the worst shit I felt. And that's saying something, because I felt some horrible shit before. Like, oh my god. And also, during that scene, she's lying down like, oh my god, my literal insides are being ripped out, and then that woman's baby is just next to her, because she's like, laying there like, ah, and the baby's like, ah, I'm a bad baby, like, just petting her and doing baby stuff, and the girl's like, ah, and then, like, her hand is here, and the baby does the baby thing and, like, grips her finger, and she's just like, ah, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're getting an abortion, there's an adorable baby next to you. It's just, I don't know, like, I get it. She's just like, oh, hold the baby's hand. But I don't know, the amount of pain, I would just have, like, the moment the baby would have gripped my finger, I would have just been like, like, ah, ah, so terrible. I'm just saying, it hurts that much. Just, I don't know. I know it's a movie, but that would have been really fucking hilarious if she would have just thrown the baby, because I would have just lost my mind. But all that weird shit aside, I really like this movie. And it's funny because on Letterboxd, like, normally, you know, like, it's a star rating, but for this movie they actually had like the fire rating, so that was cool. I thought that was really cool that they did that. So I gave it 4 fire emojis, I guess you would call it, out of 5. Like, I you know, other people I follow mostly gave around the same or higher. But yeah, like, it's cool. It's on Hulu right now because it was one of those, again, like, it's a foreign film, the festival thing. It came out, like, you know, like in the fall and all that stuff, but really it came out for the masses, like, I think in February, January this year, that kind of stuff. But yeah, like, this was also a pretty good, like, a top contender with Parasite as, like, foreign language film and all that shit. Obviously, as good as this one is, obviously it makes sense that, you know, Parasite went the way it did, because it's a little bit more relevant than, you know, lesbians making out. I'm sorry, white women, you know. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it. It's on Hulu, you know, it's 2 hours, doesn't feel like 2 hours. It's not like I was watching the shitty horror films that were 90 minutes long and they felt like 2 hours. I mean, well, that's an extra half an hour, but still, like, those felt like they felt like I was, like, watching The Irishman again or something. I was just like, oh man, do I have to take a break in between this? And then I was like, wait, I have 20 minutes left in this movie? What? You know, like, huh? But yeah, what's next on my list? Oh, Jesus Christ. Alright. I got 2 other shitty horror films. Oh my god. Before I get to some other ones that might be decent, I don't know. Like, that's like, I don't know. But, alright, I'm gonna try to do these back on my whatever schedule I had before the world set on fire. The world's still on fire. People are still out protesting, bless their heart, you know, like, I'm, yes, and I'm spreading the word. Follow my Instagram, you know, I spaz out loud as always, but I don't know, no one really watches to the end of my videos anyway. I could be saying horrible things, like Epstein didn't kill himself and stuff like that, you know, like, whatever. Anyway, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, which could probably be me in this heat, but anyway, see ya. These eyebrows, they're not there.